Hey,
Hey,
we're here.
that was all fancy and shit. I liked it.
Fancy. Look how fancy we are now with our background.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
It's so much fancy, and the screen is like, ooh, look, what's going on.
It is. It's kind of cool. I like it. It's different.
Yeah,
Makes me
it's
feel
not
like
so plain and boring. I'm gonna try and add some stuff to it later, but we're trying out something new here on the Marc and JD video version of the podcast here.
Video podcast version show. Yeah, it's great.
Yes, the video podcast version show.
Well,
live, on live365.com.
I wanted to tell you, first of all, happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, well, go fuck yourself.
We all have our crosses to bear, and Bobby Bonilla is yours. God, they owe him what, $26 million still? Insane.
A lot of money. But that's just, see, of course, it's got to be Mets. Let's make fun of the Mets. Everybody got to make fun of the Mets because they're in a Mets. But there are way worse ones out there. I'm not going to go into it because we've talked about it. We talked about it every year.
Yeah, pretty much.
But stay on the topic of baseball. Let's talk about Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer. He's a little bit creepy. So he's in the news because a girl had put a restraining order against him for, what do you want? Domestic assault, I guess, sort of.
Sexual assault? Rape, maybe?
I don't know if it was rape. She seems to have consented to the sex, but
she seemed to have consented to some, but not all of it. That's the thing. I'm like, you can always pull back your consent,
Mm-hmm. And too, is like she apparently wanted it a little rough. Maybe not shoving fingers down your throat and punching you in the vagina rough.
Well, here, this is the not just punching you in the several times in the head.
Yeah, weird.
Flipped her back onto her stomach and began choking her with air, and she lost consciousness more than one time.
It seems to be a sketchy guy. He's always been kind of a weirdo. Can you imagine though if he was a Met if this happened?
Oh my God, forget it. It would be everywhere all the time. I feel like it's kind of been, I don't watch SportsCenter or anything anymore, but I feel like it's kind of been brushed under, until they decide, MLB decides to do whatnot. They just did the All-Star, they got the All-Star game coming up. They announced the lineups and all that crap. They kind of want to see what's going to happen here. But I was reading other stories and other people have said, girls that he's quote unquote dated, that he's a real fucking weird guy.
He seems weird. And
he has rules of dating, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that. What are the rules of dating?
So he has 3 rules of dating.
Okay.
He admitted this in an interview with Sports Illustrated a couple of years ago. 1, no feelings. 2, no social media posts about me. 3, I sleep with other people. I'm going to continue to sleep with other people. If you're not okay with that, we won't sleep together. And that's perfectly fine. We can just be perfectly polite, platonic friends.
Weirdo.
Perfectly polite, platonic friends. That sounds like a band.
Perfectly
polite, perfectly polite, platonic friends. I couldn't even say it.
I can't say it. It's very, very P. It's a lot of P-centric words.
Yeah, very P. He probably just likes to say penis.
He probably likes pee. He probably likes to pee on people. I mean, you like to choke a girl out until she's unconscious. I mean, I would say you like.
Apparently, he stuck it in her butt too.
Oh yeah, flipped her over. I mean, so I don't know that the girl. It seemed like the girl was into the sex part, not the punching part. she liked it a little rough. Like she liked to be choked, but the fingers in her mouth was like a no, and then like all the other shit was.
There's pictures out there if you want to go and see the pictures. I'm not gonna put them up
We're not
on
gonna
here.
pop them up there.
No.
I mean, if what she says is true, he's a piece of shit. And he should be fine. He should be released and not play baseball forever, probably. You know what's sad is that I actually like Trevor Bauer. Like I liked him before this because he kind of was a dick. I mean, he didn't give a shit. But now that all this stuff comes out, that should be the new name of our podcast.
Yes, it should be. It should be. That's so good. That's going to be
Perfectly Polite Platonic Friends. I don't know if I can get that out every time. PPPF.
Welcome to 3PF.
3PF podcast. Yeah. That's the name of this podcast episode for sure. What was that? The actual name was what?
We're not really polite, though.
No, we're not. We're definitely not polite. I like Trevor Bauer because he was just like unhinged sometimes. He would say dumb shit. And it actually worked to his advantage in a weird way. He's a good pitcher. I mean, he's having a great year. He had a great year last year.
Is he a good pitcher because he's cheating?
Is he cheating, you think?
He's one of the forefront of the whole substance thing.
I mean, maybe. Well, speaking of which,
this is, and we didn't talk about Marcell Ozuna, but him and his wife, they got some real weird, fucked up relationship here. But this reminds me of the Arm & Hammer story.
Yes, Armie Hammer, fucking creepy, wanted to eat people and shit.
Yeah,
50 Shades of Armie Hammer.
Yeah, so this reminds me a lot of that, and like I'm sure there's plenty of stuff and people out there, but like there's got to be a limit, right? Like, why would you do that? Did he think like she was totally into that?
Well, he did say there was like an article I was reading that she was like, we need to. He said to her that they need to have a safe word in order to. He's like, what's off limits? She's like, I don't want fingers in my mouth. But she didn't say anything about punching in the face, so I guess that was okay. I mean,
like, why do you have to say that? Why do you have to say like that's not a rule? Like that's not like okay, this is a rule for this. That's a rule for everything in any situation.
It should be. You don't punch a woman in the face during sex unless they're facing the opposite direction.
Unless she really wants it.
Unless punch me in the face.
But even then, I'd be like, okay, first of all, I need you to sign this contract. I need you to consent to this on video and audio, double signatures, and I'd have a witness notarized. Like, that's just,
My name is Trevor Bauer, and she said I could punch her in the face. No.
Jackass. We joke around about it, like a donkey punch and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, nobody actually does that.
No, nobody does that shit. That's retarded. I have way more respect for women than that, obviously. And I think he's just a fucked up individual. I think he just has fucked up sexual things. I'm not here to kink shame anybody. You have to
I'm
find
not kink shaming them, but like you got to find if you want to find somebody, you got to find somebody that wants to do it back.
You got to get on Tinder and find a chick who wants to get punched in the fucking vagina.
Like you're not gonna find. They met on Instagram. You're not gonna find an Instagram chick, okay? That's like really into that on like the first or second date. Like that's not how you do things.
We all know that Instagram models are classier than that, okay? They don't want to get punched in the vagina or butt fucked. Buttfucker 3000. They don't want to get buttfucker 3000. So it's just a really fucking weird situation. Like I'm sure the Dodgers said they were investigating. MLB said they were investigating.
They still want to have him start on Sunday,
and he has to make the All-Star game. There's no fucking way he doesn't make the All-Star game.
I know it's real bad timing.
He has to.
It's bad timing. It's not like why is this coming up now? It's coming here now because it just fucking happened. Unlike other things where it's like it's been going on for a long time and it finally came out. Like it came out. It just happened. There's pictures of her all beat up and shit and text messages. And apparently she called him with the cops there. And he admitted to doing these things. He's
done. He's essentially done. Once all the evidence compiles for the Dodgers and the MLB, he's done. He's 100% done.
100% done.
No, this is the second week in a row we talked about weird baseball relationships. Because you remember last week was the pastor who cucked Ben Zobrist.
Well, maybe he should have punched her in the head. Maybe she was into that. You don't know.
She deserved it a little more than that, but she's a Christian, so they probably don't like that shit.
She's a wannabe Instagram model.
Yeah, no, she's an influencer. We had this conversation.
Whatever it is, model, influencer. What's the difference, really?
Influencers are selling something to you. Instagram models are just selling you their body. What's the difference? Is that
wait? Are you Instagram models as in like they're whores for money? They'll have sex with you for money?
No,
they're all selling something.
They're not whores per se, but they are models. They're actually literal models. They get their pictures taken by photographers.
But they are also quote unquote influencers. Like you can be an influencer. Like all models are influencers, but not all influencers are models.
There you go. All right, show over.
Next time on Perfectly Polite Platonic Friends.
What a weird name for a show. Perfectly Polite Platonic Friend. I can't even say platonic. I keep saying plantonic.
Have you been drinking?
I haven't, actually. Sadly. I got to work tomorrow morning. As per the usual.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. It came out of nowhere. And like, I'm in a fantasy baseball league. And the guy I'm playing this week actually has Bauer on his team. But nobody's brought it up in like the group chat or anything. Like it's just been like this kind of like nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about Bobby Bonilla. Nobody wants to talk about the Trevor Bauer thing.
And they're going to owe him some money too, probably. His contract will probably get voided out. No,
if he ends up in jail, his contract, he'll be placed on the restricted list and he won't get paid.
So I guess my question is, there's legal wiggle room here.
To get out of a contract?
No. To get out of going to jail. Like, he may not go to jail. If there's this much evidence, he would be in jail already. Okay?
Well, maybe so waiting to charge him. I don't know.
There has to... maybe. It's very possible. Watch they arrest him on Sunday right before the game. That'd be fucking awesome.
Watch him, like fucking leave and go to, like, Australia or some weird country where he can't be...
extradited.
Right, extradited. Thank you. I was going to say expedited, and it's like, that's not the right word, Mark. Why would he get expedited?
Well, it didn't work for McAfee. Fucking asshole. That was a weird. That's a weird one. How many connections did he have to?
That's a new conspiracy saying that he didn't kill himself. You know?
Yeah, that the Clintons had him killed. There's connections.
I don't know enough about that whole story to comment. Really,
I just know he's a piece of shit.
He was a fucking weirdo. And fuck McAfee, by the way. Fuck that shit.
He was not Pat McAfee, by the way. He's awesome.
No, I'm not actually saying fuck him, the person. I'm saying fuck the software.
Oh yeah, I've never used it.
Fuck Windows. Fuck all antivirus software. It's all garbage. Use the Windows one that's in there.
Yeah, that's the one I use. I mean, that's the only one to really use. Not that we're not really a technical podcast, but I mean, I use a computer from 15 years ago. And Mark's using a laptop with a camera on top of it. We're not the classiest people. I promise.
At least my laptop's only a year old.
That's true. I have a new laptop. I just don't use it for this.
No, it would probably be even worse than the desktop.
It would probably just explode. The desktop's actually fine for the most part. Do you know the reason why the camera didn't work? Is because I had Discord open. Because I was messing with my camera, and it was still connected. I never hung up Discord. So when I popped it open, I was still there. I was staring at myself. So I had to turn off the camera and log out of Discord. I'm like, Jim?
I'm the only one here.
Who is this?
Who am I?
So I was on Twitter earlier today, and I was, one of my favorite movies is a Christian Slater movie. Can you name the movie?
Is it Cuffs?
No, that's a great movie.
Pump Up the Volume.
Yes! Yes, it is. And the sad part is, that's what they were talking about. And like they kept saying, Pump Up the Volume is this underrated movie. And it's the one reason. It's one of those movies, I think we may have talked about this before, that made me really want to do like radio stuff. So it's one of those movies that really wanted me to do this.
Pump Up the Volume, but it's been like 25 years.
It came out 30 years ago. So yeah, I'm sure.
But like I haven't seen it since. It's like it's not on At
No,
least
it's
to my
not.
knowledge, it's not really on any streaming things. Is
No,
it?
it's not. It's not anywhere. I think I own it. I own it on DVD.
You own it
I'm
on
sure.
VHS?
No, I own Gleaming the Cube on VHS that I stole from the video store.
The video store had that?
Oh yeah, I stole it. Plus, it was on Amazon
We
Prime
never
for
actually
a long time.
talked about the video store, you know.
God, so many. But you know what? Where is it?
And then we've never also actually talked about what I said I promised I teased a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, we never did talk about that.
We never did talk about the year, not even 6 months, the semester I spent at Syracuse. You got the Clerks on VHS too?
Yeah, from the video
Do you
store.
even
You're
have
welcome.
a VCR?
No, it still has the old sticker spot too. Classy stuff right there. So, do you want to talk about your semester abroad at Syracuse?
Yes, abroad. It might as well have been another fucking country. Yeah, let's delve in. Let's go back in time. Back in time.
Let's go whack to the future.
Whoa! Before we ever started doing any radio show or anything like that, but I actually did do some radio at Syracuse. Anyway, it was probably the college I liked the best when I went to go visit them. But I got a really, really late offer from them for like a scholarship and all that. I was going to go somewhere else. But like, I think June came and was like, all right, I guess I'm going to go. But they didn't put me in the degree program that I wanted to be in. It's one of the most competitive ones, period. The Syracuse has a really big communications school that's like well known. A lot of people have come out of there, blah, blah, blah. So they put me in. I guess they tried to be like, okay, this is close to communications. It's speech communications. It's not even, it sounds, oh yeah, sure. But it's like the how and why people speak the way that they do. Man, I couldn't fucking take it. Those classes were awful. Just terrible classes. I hated every single one of them. But going to Syracuse was quite an adventure. Like I'd never really, been anywhere like that before with a whole bunch of people. Going to college is a big thing. My roommate, his name was Sultan. Not like S-U, like spelled like Sultan, but like that was his actual name. I don't remember his last name. I think he was from somewhere in the Middle East. I want to say Saudi Arabia or anything like that.
What the fuck was he doing at Syracuse?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what he was studying. I don't remember. I just remember he never got used to Syracuse. Like the time change, all of that. Like he just
fucking cold. No shit.
Well, I didn't get to the cold yet, but it starts snowing in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Famous for lake effects. No, like Columbus Day. It was snowing on Columbus Day. And I was like, fuck this. So my roommate was really weird, right? And he was. I wonder if we can
find him. Can we find him?
I've tried. You know what? When we talked about it, I was teasing it up to talk about it. I went and tried to find him. I couldn't find him. He's like a ghost. He doesn't exist.
Sleeper cell.
I don't know. But like he wore like 16 pounds of cologne, man. You could smell when he had been in the room recently. You could smell like when he had been in the hallway recently. The way the dorms were set up, the floor in the building that I was in, half the floor was an open double and half the floor was a closed double. The open double was like what we had. It's just bed here, door in the middle, just like that. No separation or anything like that. And then we didn't even have a desk for our computer. We had a side room down the hall where our computers were. They also had like ones where they were split double, where it was like bed, desk, and then a wall separating like desk bed. Huh. So that was the difference between them. So we had and I was like all the way at the end, so I wasn't that far from like where my desk was. I'm sure it's different now because do you really need that extra little room? I don't know. It was weird to begin with. He had a corner room. So his room was like twice the size of everybody else's just because it was in the corner. Yeah, that like little extra shape. He never got used to the time change. So instead of adapting to the time change, he took his mattress and put it in his room and would sleep in there. And he would sleep all day and be up all night because he never got used to the fucking time change.
Wait. I'm confused. He slept in what room?
He took the bed from
Yeah.
the regular room and put it like where his computer room was.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
And it was big enough to hold his bed, and that's where he would sleep. He
So
he didn't even have a computer, so he would do all his computer work in the lab and stuff.
Something's wrong with the connection issue. We're having connection issues.
You're having connection issues, not on my end.
Something popped up and said we're having connection issues. I don't know. It's working now.
Oh.
But anyway, wait. So you guys had your own rooms for the computers?
Yes, you had your own little room.
Oh, okay. I got you. Now, I'm thinking like you had like a computer like room for like everybody.
No. Everybody had like their own little private room with a door and a window, and it was just private. I guess you can kind of get away and like do your work or whatever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that big. It was probably like the size of my little back area back here. Mm-hmm. Mine was at least. So he slept in his room. So I essentially had the room to myself. I was like living large, and it was like basically a single. And he never came around. Really, it was really weird.
That is really weird.
So,
was there no windows in that room?
There was a window in that room. We were on the 3rd floor. I think the window opened. I think they did.
Why would the time difference make a difference if you're sleeping in that room as opposed to the regular room?
I don't know. He wanted to stay on Saudi time because he was on the phone. Like he had phone cards up the wazoo because this is 2001.
Yeah.
Okay? You didn't know, international Skyping or whatever that. So he had phone cards up the wazoo, and he would he would drag the couch over from the common area to the payphone in the wall so he could sit there and talk, and would talk and talk and talk for hours.
Is this pre 9/11 or post 9/11?
This was 2000. This post 9/11. I'm sorry, not 2001. This is 2002. So it's post 9/11.
Okay. Maybe they were trying to set up some shit. Maybe that's why he's not around anymore.
No, it wasn't like it was definitely not a private area. I mean, he was speaking in Arabic, or he could have been doing anything. I don't know. I really don't. But it was just fucking weird, and I don't know. It was fucking miserable up there. It's cold. There's no the walk to campus from that dorm that they put me in was like the worst fucking walk ever. It took forever to get to the campus. And you would think like staying on campus, like you'd be pretty close, but no, you weren't. You had to walk up this huge, like literal, like 30-degree incline hill just to get to stairs, of which there were like 160 of them because I counted them one day. Then you had to go up 160 stairs to get on the main campus. Now you could have walked a little bit down the street to take the elevator to go across, but that was like, you got to go down the street, wait for the fucking elevator. And I'm like, well, you don't really have that much time. So it was fucking miserable. And then playing basketball, I tore my ACL. So after that, it was like, forget this. Like going up and down this hill was whatever is never going to happen. And when you're on the medical plan that they have there, like they give you like a shuttle back and forth.
Yeah.
You can only go to campus and from campus one time per day. So if you got a 9 a.m. class and a 4 p.m. class, you can't get one from like, okay, get the shuttle back to your dorm, hang out back in your room for a couple hours, and then go back for your 4. No, you had to stay on the campus until 4 o'clock. So you can take that
Christ.
Class, you can come home.
That sounds terrible.
Fuck this. This is terrible. So I transferred back. Funny story though, when I was in that van, on a way to a doctor's appointment to get my knee checked out, the van got into an accident. And I thought I hurt my knee even more. But it really didn't mess up anything that much. So
yeah, you went to school with somebody I hate.
I did, yeah.
I hate him.
He was actually on the total opposite end of the dorm.
He's doing better than we are.
I'm sure guy. He is.
Fuck that guy.
But he also got into the communication school. So to each his own.
Yeah, true. Stop doing this flashing podcast from your own house, right?
Right. That was my semester at Syracuse. Now there's more in there. It wasn't. It's just typical dorm room stuff. The idiots across from me, man, they would not shut the fuck up. I hated them so much. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, like on Wednesdays, Tuesdays. I'm like, I got early fucking classes, man. Like, why don't you shut the fuck up? Like, come on. Save it for like Thursdays and Fridays, you know? Like, I wouldn't care then. But like during the week, that's just a fucking asshole move. It really is.
Yeah, they probably didn't have classes.
They didn't have classes.
Probably didn't have those
like,
classes in the morning.
They didn't have classes a lot. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I don't even remember their names. Fuck them.
Let's get them on the show.
Yeah, right. Trying to think. So during this whole time, I was, I wouldn't say texting back and forth. AIM, we fucking used A1's domestic.
Yeah.
With that person who happens to share a last name with you. That was God. When I had come home for Thanksgiving. That was when she dumped me on my birthday. Right after I had torn my knee, too.
And you know what's funny? That was around the time of the Connecticut trip. It was like a little bit after that.
Or no, I had to have been back.
You were home. You were home. So she was with Ficken, which I don't fucking care. I don't care about bleeping his name. What's he gonna do? Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Who cares? But we didn't even bleep. We didn't even bleep him out of the other one.
Yeah, did
we?
I did. No matter. Maybe I can bleep it.
Who cares? But anyway, that episode is immortalized forever. What is it? Episode 4 or 3?
Episode 2?
Is it 2?
I think it's 2. It was like one of the first that we had done, and then certain people wanted us to take it down, and
that was a
et cetera.
Fiasco.
So I tore my ACL, decided to come back home, and yeah. So that was it was just a weird time. There was a Burger King in the basement of the dorm building I was in. Yeah.
Really? That's weird.
It was weird.
Was that around the time when they had the chicken nugget sandwich? That was my jam.
No, I just remember getting and you could pay for it with the fucking meal card, you know? So
I will take a Whopper.
Oh, 10 o'clock. Let's go get some fucking Burger King. That was back when the fries were better.
Fries, yeah, they're not very good now. Wendy's has probably the best fries out there.
No, Wendy's fries suck.
No, I like Wendy's fries.
No, they're terrible.
I don't know.
McDonald's I like fries or nothing.
I do like McDonald's fries. I like Checkers fries better, but I haven't had them in a very long time. Burger King fries are garbage.
I really have. They pretty much are. We don't have it. They have actually one Checkers around. They kind of just opened it recently, but it's in a mall. Doesn't really count.
That doesn't count. They have one out here that's like out open.
McDonald's has the best fries. Like Five Guys fries are famous only because you get a shitload of them.
True, they're good.
Chick-fil-A has good fries, but they're waffle fries. So that's like a different thing.
They are good though. They are real.
Arby's has crinkle cut fries now, and they're okay.
Arby's curly fries are nasty.
They're pretty good. Them. Like you got to be in the mood. No.
I don't be in the mood for Arby's. Arby's is fucking nasty.
I like Arby's.
I'm so fucking sick of Arby's. French chips are good.
Arby's, right? How much Arby's do you eat that you're so fucking sick of it?
I just don't. Like Haley always wants the gyros from Arby's.
Oh God, that's not even a good.
So if I get a gyro, I get the Greek one.
Gyro. You don't have a Greek place near you? You probably don't have a real Greek place near you.
No, not by me. But in Florida, there's a couple actually.
Yeah, I mean, like you gotta have like a real one where they got there's spins around on the thing. That's real shit. That's real shit.
Those are good.
I tried the gyro once from Arby's, and this was before they actually had like the actual gyro meat, and it was like roast beef,
the lamb.
Right, it was before they had the lamb. It was like. I didn't know that. And I ordered it and it was like roast beef with gyro seasonings on it. I'm like, what is this? What am I eating? Why does this taste like a gyro, but it's not? Like it was so weird. And I was like,
it's an Americanized version of it. No, we went to when we were on vacation in Florida, there's a place that just opened up down there that's in a little strip mall or whatever. I forget the name of it. But it was a little tiny Greek place. And it was fucking expensive as shit, by the way. For three people. It was fucking like $46.
Jesus.
I was like, for
Did it come with a hand job?
I'll call it Gyros. For €4, it was fucking $46. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me for this shit.
You gotta
like,
be fucking kidding me.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
But one of my coworkers was shared a picture. He's like, check out my lunch. He went and got a gyro. And I'm like, are you at the mall? Because I'm like, I recognize it. I'm like, are you at the mall eating a gyro? He's like, yeah, man, they got legit gyro. I'm like, what's wrong with you? We got like a legit good Greek restaurant in town. He's like, fuck that place. I'm like, what did they do to hurt you? Like, why would you opt to not go there for a legitimate gyro?
He probably called it a gyro, and they got real mad at him and refused to let him order food anymore.
He would. I mean, he would, knowing this person. But I'm just like, dude, the mall food is you don't go to a mall to eat. Okay, you eat at the mall because you're there and you're hungry.
Yeah.
Right in the food court, at least. What?
You're frozen. Sorry.
Froze. I'm not frozen.
Yeah, you froze on me. Now you're good. You're all right now. Yeah, you don't go to the mall to eat.
You don't go to the mall to eat. You go to the mall and eat if you're there and hungry, or if you work there. Really,
I like a good mall Chinese food sometimes because you get really good bourbon chicken.
Yeah, I don't know why you do. You're just weird about that. But on a side note,
I love Sbarros too.
You can only find them in malls.
Yep.
Do you remember mall? They had a Ranch One.
Yes.
That was the fucking best chicken.
That was
it was so good.
I couldn't even tell you what that tastes like anymore, to be honest with you.
I couldn't tell you either. It's been 20 years probably since I ate that. Maybe less, maybe like 15 years. It's not there anymore. But that was so good.
They have a place called PDQ out here. I don't know if you guys have those up there.
Yeah, I've eaten there.
It's not bad. I've never had it. Lived there for 5.5 years. I've never had it.
The funny thing about that mall is remember the McDonald's was in the mall for ever, and it was never actually part of the food court. It was in its own separate thing.
Yeah, it was one of the entrances. It was huge.
Okay, it was a McDonald's. It was there forever, and then the mall was like, we want to put all stores near each other. So if McDonald's got to move to the food court, and they were like, fuck you. That was the dumbest idea. They wanted to put all stores near each other. So if you wanted women's clothing, they'd all be in the same area. If you wanted men's clothing or shoes, they'd all be in the same area. And I'm like, the whole point of the mall is to make people walk through the whole mall.
It's fucking stupid.
Why would you want to just have a men's clothing in one place in the mall? Those people are never going to walk through. Either if they just need clothes, they're never going to walk through the mall. Maybe I'll pop in here.
That McDonald's was the place where me and Levenberg, when I worked at KB Toys in that same mall, we would get our double cheeseburgers plain and get barbecue sauce, and we'd do barbecue cheeseburgers. That was where I learned you can get your shit plain. I guess I probably knew it, but I never really did it. I want my cheeseburgers plain and then put barbecue sauce on it.
It was never a thing until it was have it your way. Remember?
Yeah,
have it your way. And then everybody's like, well, you can have it any way you want. You just got to tell us.
Ask.
Nobody really asks. You just tell us.
I never.
But also, they don't do mustard on burgers in New York.
No, I know.
Not where we live. Not where we live.
Why?
I don't get it either.
Mustard is the superior condiment.
No,
superior condiment. Sorry. It goes with everything. Sandwiches, it goes with pretzels, everything. They make honey mustard out of it. It's perfect. It's the perfect condiment, Mark. What is wrong with you?
I had a coworker. I shouldn't say coworker, but I had an employee when I was manager at GameStop. And I would say, hey, I'm going out to pick up some lunch. You want something? She's like, yeah, can you get me some fries with honey mustard? Yeah, whatever, sure. Wendy's at that. I don't think McDonald's had honey mustard at the time. They might have, but whatever.
Probably
then I later found out that she was a vegan. And I was like, honey mustard isn't vegan, right? It's honey. It's got honey in it. She's like, what? She was like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, what? Yeah, it's honey mustard. It's got honey in it. That's the first thing. She's like, I just thought it was honey flavored. I'm like, no, it's not honey flavored. It's got actual honey in it. It's not
You're not vegan anymore. You're the worst vegan of all time.
I just like, she's like, oh my god. She started like freaking out. She's like, I gotta go. I gotta take a break. I was like, she went out and had a cigarette and she like had to calm herself down. I was like, she was real serious about being a vegan too. It wasn't like, oh, whatever. I try to eat vegan. I have honey mustard. Who cares? But she was real serious about being a vegan.
It probably wasn't even real honey.
Well, McDonald's uses real honey. I know that. They give you honey if you want honey.
Yeah. I don't know if there's real honey and honey mustard at Wendy's, though. Little tiny
There has to
cup.
be.
Maybe. It's a weird podcast we're doing right now. But do you remember that party you had at your house?
Yeah, with the mustard.
Yes, with the girl who it was one of my brother's friends, who I won't name his name, but his Chinese girlfriend was terrified of mustard.
Terrified.
Oh man, I swear.
That was the same night where you and your brother had a huge fight.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, nor the last time we had a huge fight either.
Oh no, this was a fight like any other fight I'd seen before between you two.
Well, brothers fight. I mean, and us two, we're polar opposites.
Do you? I don't know. I don't, because we're 10 years apart. So what do we have in common? Nothing.
Yeah, we don't have much in common. I mean, we have some things in common, but we're polar opposites.
A couple years apart.
Yeah, we're polar opposites.
You grew up like way closer together.
Yeah, but we also, like I said, we're polar opposites. We don't really like the same shit. Not into the same shit.
I wouldn't say that you're polar opposites. I really wouldn't. You both like to drink. You both like baseball and football and Tim Tebow.
I don't really like Tim Tebow that much anymore.
Oh, but you did.
I do. I don't even watch the Gators anymore, to be honest. I don't really watch college football anymore.
They're getting paid. Paid.
Are they?
Yeah.
Interesting. That should be fun.
They are allowed to sign licensing deals.
Really? I did not catch that. I did catch that Allison Mack is going to prison for 3 years.
Oh, yes. Nexium
Colts. We should start a cult. The cult of Marc and JD. We can brand them with our logo. You want to start a cult?
I thought we had a cult. Do you want to start a cult?
We did. We can.
We could.
Do you want to start a cult?
Not really. What the fuck? Like, what am I going to do? I'm not no cult leader. I can't believe in this shit.
You're not really like charismatic enough to be a cult leader. Either am I. Don't get me wrong. Like, neither of us. We need to find figurehead.
I'm charismatic to a point. Definitely not.
Yeah, we all are.
Definitely not in person, but like I'm more charismatic through text.
Yes, we're both charismatic through like typing and having conversations with people for sure. And through this podcast, we're a little more charismatic. We're funnier. We're whatever. But yeah, in like person, I don't know if we could be the figurehead of a cult. We'd have to find like some dupe to put his face on it and then use him as the figurehead. But what would our cult's name be?
I don't know. What would we call it?
I don't know. We need to find out. What should our cult's name be?
I got it. 3FP.
3FP. No, yes.
3PF. 3PF.
Jesus Christ.
3PF.
You already got the name wrong.
We got it. 3PF.
I don't remember what it was. Politely Platonic People Friends.
Polite. I don't remember.
Politely Platonic. Platonic.
The perfectly polite platonic friends. See, perfectly polite platonic friends.
That Nexium shit is off the wall bonkers, though.
Yeah, the two documentaries. I haven't watched the one that's on Stars, but I think I need to.
Probably.
But there's the big HBO one first.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of bonkers. I don't know. I guess. I don't understand how you can fall into a cult. But I'm not religious, so I don't understand how you can fall into believing any of that shit.
People like this. They have a message, and then when you get the message and it applies to you, or you feel something for that message, is when you join the cult, you join the cause, you join the church, you join whatever, you know. I can understand it to a degree. If you believe in something enough, you're going to join it. I'm not saying I would.
Do people join cults because they're attracted to the leader, or does the leader charismatically bring them in? Like which?
Well, look at the biggest cults.
Start?
What are the two biggest cults? You had Jim Jones, right? Jim Jones drank the Kool-Aid, and you had Robert Miscavige, right? And whatever the main guy was, L. Ron Hubbard. So L. Ron Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard was a fucking lunatic, crazy person, but he was charismatic to a fault. So like people liked him.
Was he? Was he really? Have you ever actually watched videos of him? He's not charismatic. Weirdo. The guy that's in David Miscavige is way more charismatic.
Well, I was going to lead to him because he is like the leader of what? Did they ever find his wife? By the way,
no. Well, they know where his wife is. She's just like in
the ocean.
Their Scientology prison, labor camp or something.
On the planet Xenon or whatever. I mean, where the fuck?
Don't forget Waco. Don't forget that.
That was a weird one too. David, what was his name?
Koresh.
There you go. He was a fucking lunatic. That was actually a really good miniseries they had.
I watched the first episode. We never finished the rest.
I think I watched the first two. That was a good little miniseries they had going.
Yeah, I gotta finish that. I just, you get distracted by other things, and right now I'm watching. What was I watching? I forgot already. I started The Boys.
Oh, it's so good.
I got Amazon Prime, like a 6-month trial.
Okay.
Of the video. I always had the delivery, but that was because I shared it with somebody. But the video, you couldn't share it, So I got 6 months of Amazon Prime, and as I'm browsing like what I wanted to watch, I remembered why I hated it so much, because it's fucking terrible to browse. It's so bad.
You can share Amazon Prime.
You'd have to share their password.
Yeah,
my brother's like, no, I don't want to share it.
He's watching all weird porno stuff on there. That's why.
Well, actually, once or twice, the kid accidentally ordered episodes because it's not hard. It's not easy to differentiate between.
No,
them.
It's not. It's not. Her dad has ordered shit from when he was here on like vacation.
They make it seem like everything's part of Prime, but it's not.
I bought my first movie 2 nights ago on Amazon Prime for $1.99.
I own actually a decent amount of digital movies because I've either gotten them for free when I bought like a Blu-ray or something, or because they got it as part of a promo.
I should say I rented it.
I have like 20 movies.
I rented Fast 7 or Furious 7.
Why was it not streaming anywhere?
I could not find it anywhere. It's not.
It's not on anything?
No, Fate of the Furious, the 8th one, is on the little thing I watch illegal shit on sometimes. But that one, I started watching
it's on Hulu, I see. No?
It's not. No, it's not.
It says it is.
It's not. Believe me, it's not.
Fast 7, right?
Yeah, it's not on there.
Oh, it's on FX Movies.
Yeah, it's not on. It's not there. So I don't have TV. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just, for $1.99, I'll rent the fucking movie. So we had a movie night. We made some popcorn. We sat down and watched a movie. And it's kid friendly enough where you can watch it. There's enough action in it. It's honestly not a terrible movie. Jason Statham's in it.
I haven't.
Jason Statham. I mean,
people somehow gotta like it. I haven't seen any past Tokyo Drift. Okay. Too Fast, Too Furious was a little too gay for me, if you know what I mean. I challenge anybody who's a Fast and Furious fan, okay, to watch Too Fast, Too Furious again and see how many times Vin Diesel and Paul Walker get so close to each other, it looks like they might just start making out and turn into a gay porno.
Yes, it's very weird. It does we saw that in the movie theater.
We did see that in the movie theater, and I remember reading a review that pointed that out, and we looked for it, and we laughed every time it fucking happened. We're like the only morons in the theater laughing when they got so close to each other.
Tyrese. He's like the comic relief in these movies now. It's fucking ridiculous. But
that was the first movie that really got a terrible, stupid name. That started that.
Well, then the next one is like Fast and Furious after Tokyo Drift. This is
But
like
they
the
never
Fast
really
and the
used like
Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious. Like that's just terrible.
Too Fast, Too Furious. It's because
Like,
Vin Diesel didn't want to. He doesn't remember at that point he didn't want to make sequels. Now he's like,
um,
now he'll make
well,
sequels to fucking anything.
well, he wants to make. He does it so they let him do other movies.
No, I know, but I'm saying like back then he didn't want to make sequels, so he refused to do Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay, I got a good segue here.
Okay.
When the first Fast and Furious movie came out, I was working at the video store, and we put it on in the store. And Frank, the owner, was there. We were working together for some reason. I don't remember why, but he ended up like watching a whole bunch of the movie, and then at the end, he fucking cheered. He like clapped, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That dude,
Who claps at a movie?
that
Who
albino
claps at
fuck.
movies?
Remember we saw Fast
Have
and the
you ever
Furious?
clapped at the end of a movie?
No, Rocky.
Why would you clap at it? Who
Slow
are
clap.
you cheering for? The screen? They can't hear you.
They give standing ovations at like Con and stuff.
But they're there.
What is it called?
Con.
It's Con.
But they're there.
Yeah, so
Who claps? Have you ever like stood up and cheered at the end of a movie?
No. Ninja Turtles. I stood up and I was like, this is the greatest movie of all time. My brother stood up and said, I love being a turtle. It's a true story.
You were like 5 and 6 or 7.
Wow, 1989, I was...
We've been to a lot of movies where people have cheered at the end, or like when the villain finally gets defeated or something like that. And people cheer, and I'm always like, it's a fucking movie. Like, do they do it at home too?
You know, Fast and Furious came out, the original movie came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's 20 years old.
20-year anniversary for that fucking movie. Crazy.
Anyway, so that'll segue into, but we'll finish it up here tonight with the video store.
Oh, Jesus. Hey, what I wanted to talk about, too, you know, we talked about Allison Mack going to jail for 3 years. Cosby did 3 years and got released.
I can't talk about that.
There's some major fucking incompetence out there.
Yeah.
Some fuck-ups, man.
He's still guilty, but he's only out because of like fucking bullshit procedural shit.
A technicality, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fucking idiots.
But I don't want to talk about it. It's just going to get me angry.
Go with your video. What's up the video store?
Well, we never really, we talk about it, but we've never talked about it, okay? The video store is a place where I worked and a mutual friend of ours worked. That's how we met each other, was at the video store. Now, it wasn't actually called the video store. It was called Superstore Video, okay? But nobody ever called it.
Yes.
I only ever called it when I answered the phone. And even when I did, people were always like, is this the video store? On such and such street. I was like, yeah, it is. But it was in like this. It had like a perfect location because like the nearest Blockbusters were kind of far.
Yeah, 109 was the only one I can think of.
It was there was also the one that ended up being on the way to the mall, like right near your house.
There was a Blockbuster over there?
Yeah.
No. Where?
Yeah.
Where's there a fucking Blockbuster over there?
You know where Apple Bank is in the grocery store? I don't know what grocery store it is now.
There was no Blockbuster over there.
Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
Yes, there was.
Dude, no way.
Yes way.
No.
Yeah, they built it right. They built an extra little attachment. There was a Blockbuster video there. Anyway, there was definitely a Blockbuster there. Trust me.
Agree to disagree. I don't trust you.
I've been there a bunch of times.
I don't trust you. Sorry.
Anyway, this was a small mom and pop shop that actually the original owner had 3 of them around Long Island. And then he sold this one to a moron. His name was Frank.
Frank, the albino guy.
A terrible businessman who had he wasn't an albino guy. He had some thing that made some of it like white hair, like just popping weird random spots.
So he was an albino.
His eyelashes. Not
so he was an albino.
No, albinos don't have hair. Do they?
Beg to differ.
Anyway,
I don't know. Whatever.
He was a moron. He didn't know how to run a business. Okay, this was when I say the back room, which we had. That was probably the majority of our business was the back room with the camera that didn't work. to try to keep out the kids. It
And
worked at one point.
the giant Dolph Lundgren poster back or standee.
Yeah, so it was generic. If you've ever been to a mom and pop video store, you know what a mom and pop video store looks like. They were all kind of somewhat similar and things like that. I almost got hit by a car in the video store once.
Well,
Somebody
the car ran through the building.
Yeah. So I worked there for many, many years, off and on. For a little bit, there was off and on, but it was slowly going down the tank because he didn't know how to run a business. Now, if you don't know, VHS tapes used to be like crazy expensive. If you wanted to buy a tape that wasn't like regular for sale, like Disney or something like that, it was like $90, $100. So if you broke a tape, it was like ridiculous. And then when DVDs started coming out, it was like I could buy a movie for like 20, $25. It was a game changer.
Cheap.
Right. It was cheap. So as business, I don't want to say business kept getting worse because more and more people were buying DVDs or anything, because Blockbuster stayed around for quite some time.
He was only buying one copy of the DVDs, though, for the most part.
Like 1 or 2 copies of movies. And at that point, paying full price from the distributor when he could have just went to like Best Buy or something and bought him a hell of a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
All you had to do was buy a movie, rent it 3 or 4 times, you make your money back, sell it while the movie is still somewhat popular, and you've made your money.
Yeah.
But he would never buy more than, I think 8 was, when I was there, 8 was the most he ever bought of any movie. I can't
remember what movie it was.
I don't.
Probably The Transporter or something.
I don't remember what movie it was, but 8 was the most he had ever bought. And I'm like, oh my God, he bought 8. Like, that's fucking crazy. But then he would wait too long to sell them used. So
and then I would steal them all anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right, or I would just give them to you or whatever. I gave you free
exactly.
rentals all the time and stuff too.
Yes, 100%.
But he didn't know how to. And I, at one point, it came to be that he hadn't paid rent in like a long time, and one of the coworkers there, his name was, I'm not going to name names, but his name started
Kevin.
with a K. Yeah,
Kevin. Whatever. He's probably dead by now.
He might be. He had been talking to the landlord because he worked the morning shifts, and landlord was coming in the morning about like taking over the business. And at one point, he asked me if I said like, I might be interested if you sell the business, and he wanted $125,000 for it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here! And in rent that he hadn't paid. Like, there is no way that this business is worth that much money. Like, you fucked it up beyond belief. And I'm like, no. If anything, I give you 10 grand and I'll take on the like, my offer was going to be 10 grand for the store, and I'll take on the debt to try and pay it back. But it never came to that because the landlord took the store away, said, I'll take it. You won't owe me any money. And he gave it to fucking blind Kevin to run.
Blind Kevin. Albino Frank and Blind Kevin.
This all happened in like a span of a couple days.
And Penelope worked there too. I forgot about her.
Yeah, he did.
Penelope.
So he never wanted to sell the movies, the adult movies in the back, which were easy money makers because he literally bought them based on how much they cost per DVD. He would say, send me $100 worth of the $4 DVDs. He didn't even like peruse catalog. He would just call up with his distributor and say, I need $100 worth of the $4 DVDs. So you'd get like literally anything. Good stuff, bad stuff, didn't matter. You had people coming in all the time asking him to buy it. And he would never sell it. Just sell it. What are you going to do? People would pay upwards of like 20, $10, $15, $20. You're only paying $4 a disc.
He was a moron.
You rented it once and you made the money back. So what did it matter after that? Anywho, there's just stupid things like that. And then I don't know. I had so many ideas for this place. I could have. We wanted it. It could have stayed open for longer. Not that. 2008 probably would have been the end of it, no matter what. Okay,
yeah,
after
probably.
The whole recession and streaming started getting big, that probably would have been the end of it. Although I think people kind of do miss it these days. video stores.
Especially in the pandemic kind of stuff.
So one day I get a call from Kevin. I'm supposed to come in. It's Friday. He said, I don't need you to come in today. Okay. What about, he's like, and you know what? I don't need you to come in the whole weekend. And I'm like, okay, weird. So I went in. I was working 2 jobs at that point. I was still at GameStop. So I went in later that day and I was like, what's the deal? Like, you don't want me working anymore? He's like, I'm going to have to let you go. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're firing me? He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to let you go. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who does that? Like, we did not get along. We did not get along at all because he was an asshole. He couldn't see shit. Fuck him.
How was a blind guy working at a fucking movie store?
I don't know. Fucking irony up the wazoo. We didn't get along, whatever. And I said, okay, well, you realize, like, you know, every night I was there all the time. There was like 2 nights I worked there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every night I was there closing because it was an easy way to work and like I could do schoolwork. So what was the big deal? So I was there like all the time. The TV broke, I brought my TV in. The phone broke, I brought a phone in.
My brother, it was we brought your phone. My brother broke it on the ground. Remember outside the store?
Right. That's all I'm getting to. So after I quit, I said, all right, well, I'll be back for my TV, the DVD player, then the phone. Because they were all mine. He's like, all right. So I called you up and I said, hey, you know, you just fired me. You come get this TV with me. And it was a fucking ginormous TV. I didn't really want it, but it was the principle of the matter. I didn't want him to have it. So I came and I took that and I took the DVD player and I took the phone. And your brother, no, when we left, you slammed it on the ground.
Was it me?
It was you. You slammed it on the ground and then he picked up the receiver and put it in the fucking the late night drop box. And said, here, the phone's for you, asshole.
I don't think we were allowed in there after that.
Oh no, we weren't. But the funny thing is, he didn't get. I don't remember. I remember calling for days to see if he had gotten a phone. He never did. The phone it was just ringing. He never got a phone.
I never got a TV either.
Got a phone. I don't know. I never went back.
I don't think I ever went back in there.
It closed like less than 9 months after that.
It turned into like a karate place, didn't it? Something like that.
It still is. I was
lucrative
upset.
business.
I really wanted to take some stuff from there, just as like mementos, like the video, the fucking big fucking giant letters.
Dude, that thing was bigger than that was bigger than your car. That shit was huge.
Awesome to have though. It just would have been cool to have. But I did manage to get the new releases signed, and I don't know what happened to it. It would be perfect for like right behind me.
Yeah.
New releases and hot arrivals or something like that. It was at my parents' house for the longest time, and I asked them when I was there recently. It's like, do you know where that is? And they're like, I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm like, fuck, man, I really wanted that.
They probably threw it away.
They probably did. They're probably sick of seeing it. Sick of fucking Mark shit.
I have a bunch of pictures of the video store.
I have a bunch of pictures too.
If I find them, I'll post them somewhere. Maybe on the Instagram.
Post them on the Instagram, like when we put up the episode too.
So we tried filming a movie there.
Yeah, we did. I wish we had that. I don't have any of that footage.
No.
You know what? I might. We recorded it on my dad's camera. I think we might have it on a tape somewhere at his house.
Somewhere.
It might be.
Dude, I can't tell you how many hours I spent at that fucking video store.
Oh, you would just come and hang out. It was just hang out.
It broke my heart to not be there all the time. I love that place.
The toilet was broken. Had a weird, creepy basement that I never went into.
No, nobody went out. I think I peeked my head down there one time.
Oh god,
and dark.
They used to keep like boxes. They're the popcorn maker. We used to make popcorn and give it away. Do you remember that?
So
man,
great.
I miss those fucking days.
I miss breaking. Remember, we used to steal candy from the candy machines.
That was so easy. Just needed like a paper clip.
Remember the Raiden machine, the Raiden game? Oh,
the dude that would come in and play a game of NFL Blitz every week. Like he would play a whole game. And just leave. Remember that guy?
It's like randomly.
Yeah,
yes.
He would come in every week.
Very random.
Like, he wanted to go through the whole season and beat every team. What are you doing here, dude?
Oh, dude, this is so weird. You just buy this game and play it at home.
all the posters, I used to have all the posters and stuff from there.
I
you used
still
to
have a
read the
few posters from
magazines.
the video store.
You had like the subscription of like video, whatever it was called. I
Oh,
forget.
I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
But they're probably still
God.
around ish. Or I remember he had like the adult ones too, AVN.
Yeah, AVN. Man, that was a good time. I
Man, it
missed
was
that
good
place.
days. It was a good day. Without the
Yeah,
video store, there is no Mark and JD podcast. So
there's no
pour one
Mark and
out. Pour
JD.
one out. Right. Pour one out for the homies at the video store. But fuck Kevin and fuck him up his ass.
Fuck the albino Frank guy because he was a douchebag who mismanaged everything. And Penelope was good people. Who's the other kid who worked there? Remember? The young kid?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Been so long. He was all right.
He was a good kid. I don't remember his name either.
It was just like I could see it slowly declining. I remember the busiest night we ever had was the night that the tuck rule. When Tom Brady had the infamous tuck rule game.
Yeah.
That was the busiest night we ever had. And we only did like $1,200 in rentals. There were times when I closed on like a Thursday where we didn't even have enough. We didn't make enough money to cover the salaries for the day. It's like you only needed to rent 13. I calculated it out. You only needed to do 13 rentals in a day to break even, and we didn't even do that some days.
How much did he charge for the movies? Do you remember?
It was $359 plus tax, so it's
So it was like
$390, and you only got it
$4.
for a day, unless you wanted to add an extra day, which was 30 cents up front. It was like $4 or something.
It's ridiculous. I don't think I ever paid for a rental once we became friends, and I just went there all the time. I used to just
Oh no!
steal shit.
Once I figured out how to hack into the thing and just add free rentals to your thing, we essentially had like Netflix. You know, like when Netflix rented DVDs, you paid for a rental card, and it was like I don't remember the cost, but like you could buy 20 rentals, which would normally be like $70 or something for like $50, and people would do that. It was like it was a good deal.
Yeah.
We should have done that. That's what I was gonna do more of that. Like when Blockbuster had just been starting that out. So like, churn that out, churn that money. If they rent, they rent. If they don't, they don't. How many people
sell fucking movies?
The value there.
You go around, you pop prices on movies. I mean, Blockbuster. So the problem was Blockbuster had 15 copies of every movie. The video store only had 3 or 4 copies, maybe 3, most likely 2.
If you call, you could reserve movies.
Oh, I remember.
Blockbuster.
No, I remember. Can you hold this for? I remember the stacks underneath the thing, underneath the front counter.
Remember the laminating machine that we used to laminate people's cards?
I do. Damn it! I miss that place. God damn it!
I don't have my card anymore, but I think you or your brother showed me one recently.
At least my brother has one.
Put up on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't have one anymore for sure.
I don't have one. I definitely don't have one. But I laminated my social security card. And then after I did it, I looked at the back and says, "Do not laminate this card." I'm like, you fucking moron! Why did you do that?
I think a lot of people do that though. It doesn't matter. I lost my.
You remember I used to bring in like my little TV DVD player that I had. We used to like sit behind the counter and watch movies.
Yeah, I was not supposed to be there. We were always afraid Frank was going to show up.
Yeah.
Frank was going to show up, and I would like pop behind the counter real fast.
You were not supposed to be there.
It was like I worked there almost. Like worked there for free.
Worked there for free. Okay, put this away from me. Yeah, sure.
I'm like, fine. I was like, I closed the video store more with you than I worked at my own job.
Probably because we used to go out to the movies right afterwards.
And I used to work at the law firm, and I worked like 8 to 5 every day. And you work open to what, 10 or 11? I would go home and go to whatever.
7 to 11 was my shift.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just hang out there until like 11 o'clock. Sometimes earlier, depending on what was going on. But yeah, we just hang out.
Some fried wontons,
Body by wonton. These are our dad bods.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was listening to that last episode, by the way. I was just before we got on the air. It's actually a really fucking funny episode. The opening of that is pretty fucking funny. You do yell a lot, though. God.
Well, now that I'm in a new location for recording, I can be as loud as I want, so I can yell. If you go back and listen to this episode, you'll hear me yell quite a lot.
You didn't yell that much. We didn't really.
You don't think that I did, but I did. I guarantee you, there's at least 2 or 3 yells in here.
All right, so
especially when I said like, who Who goes to the mall to eat a gyro? You know,
Who goes to the mall to eat the gyro? Pop up our Facebook shit on the bottom there, like Facebook, Twitch, all that shit, so they know where we're going. Facebook.com/Marc and JD, Twitch.tv/Marc and JD. We're on YouTube, YouTube.com/Marc and JD. You can find us on all those places.
No, it's
Twitter.
not /Marc and JD.
What is it? Marc and
JD. We can't get a custom thing. If you go to
just search for us.
Yeah, you got to search for it.
Search for us.
You got to search for it. We're on Podbean. That's our host for
now
our podcast for now. Might change in the future.
Twitter's a good one to follow us on. We do some funky shit on there.
Best. Instagram is probably second best.
Yeah, that's where the logos go up that I make that are pretty funny. The wonton one was one of my favorites.
Yeah, and like this is a new thing that we're using. Like we can it's like zoomed up and shit. But we can also do like picture in picture. Oh, hello, I'm down here. Hello. Or like, hey, what you doing up there? You know, so we've got like all these different things that we can mess with in the future. And, you know, we can have guests. It'll be a lot easier to have guests on here now.
True.
So make sure you give us a follow on Twitter. You'll know when we go live, especially on Twitch as well.
Yes, Twitch.
Slap that like button. You'll know when we go live. We'll tell you in advance. We're probably going to start doing it every Saturday night, 9ish or so. We're not sure of the time yet. We're gonna test out a couple times.
Saturday the 3rd. Happy Saturdays.
Yes, happy
Saturdays. You know, it's a good show.
No, I don't know, but
reminiscing about the past.
Yes, reminiscing about the past. All right, so catch us there, and we'll see you next week. Well, I mean, you'll see us, but I won't see you. I'll see you.
I don't want to see you. Stop.
Yeah. Sorry, I hit the button too soon. Anyway,
are we still recording?
We'll see you. Yeah, we're still recording.